Intro, whispered. Konoha was once a home for heroes. But everything changed in one night. Their love turned into a nightmare. Main narration tense. A thick fog covered the village. The houses were empty. Not a soul on the streets. Footsteps were heard among the ruins. And then, they appeared. Naruto, the seventh Hokage. His eyes no longer shone with determination. They were empty. The veins on his skin were black. He was no longer human. Hinata was next to him. Her gaze was once filled with warmth. Now there was only cold and a thirst for flesh. Her lips whispered, "Naruto, together forever, forever." Tense moment. They wandered through the ruins of Konoha. Their steps were uncertain. But as soon as they smelled the scent of something alive, they rushed forward like animals. Dialogue, in a creepy voice. Hinata, you will be with me, even in death. Naruto, we will never let go. Climax. Sasuke and Sakura stood before them. In their hands, a sword and a kunai. But how to fight? With those you called family. One wrong step, and the darkness will swallow everyone. And Naruto and Hinata's zombie love will never let them go. Finale, in a whisper. Sometimes, even love becomes the most terrible curse. Chapter 2. Whispers in the Ruins. Night had fallen upon Konoha once again. The dead streets were lit only by moonlight. Among the ruins, where children had once laughed, now only whispers could be heard. Naruto and Hinata were wandering side by side. They were not talking, but an invisible thread stretched between them. Love that did not die with the body. Hinata touched his hand. Her fingers were cold as ice, but a fire flickered in her eyes. Mad, all-consuming. Hinata, in a whisper, with a trembling voice. Naruto, now no one will separate us. Neither death nor life. Naruto only exhaled hoarsely. He could hardly speak anymore. But his gaze spoke louder than any words. He was ready to follow her into eternity. Meanwhile, Sasuke and Sakura watched from afar. They were hiding in the shadows of a ruined building. Sakura gripped the kunai so tightly that her fingers turned white. Sakura, whispering, "This is impossible. It's not them. It's not our friends." Sasuke was silent. His gaze was dark and heavy. He understood. The longer they waited, the more people would die at the hands of former heroes. But suddenly, Hinata suddenly raised her head. Her white eyes flashed. She felt their presence. Hinata, eerily, drawlingly, "I know. You're here. You won't be able to hide." Naruto rushed forward like a beast. One leap, and the ground shattered into cracks. He moved not like a man, but like something born from a nightmare. Sasuke managed to draw his sword. And at that very moment, the steel collided with the claws of the former Hokage. Narrator, tensely. Friends became enemies. Love became a curse. And the night promised to take even more lives. Chapter 3. Fight in the shadow of the moon. The sound of gusty wind, the crackle of fire somewhere in the distance. Sasuke's sword rang, reflecting Naruto's blows. But this was no longer a familiar fight between shinobi. Each blow from the former Hokage was rough, animalistic. As if the instinct of hunger itself controlled his body. Naruto growled, breaking the stones under his feet. His movements became unpredictable. Chakra, black, distorted, oozed from the cracks in his skin. Sakura rushed forward, her fist glowing with chakra. She hit Hinata right in the chest. And for a moment it seemed that she would collapse. But instead of a cry of pain, Hinata smiled. Hinata, in a creepy, gentle voice. "Even if you break my body, I will still stay by Naruto's side." She grabbed Sakura's wrist. Her fingers were icy, her grip like iron. Sakura felt her own chakra, like it was leaking out from within. Sakura, in a panic. "Sasuke. She's draining her chakra." Sasuke lunged at them, his blade flashing like lightning. The sword sliced through the air, but Hinata managed to retreat, pulling Sakura into the darkness with her. Narrator, in a rising tone. The night became an arena of despair. Sasuke and Sakura were fighting for more than just their lives. They were fighting for the souls of those who had once been their family. But the longer the fight went on, the more it became clear. Naruto and Hinata would never return. Naruto, in a low, distorted voice. You will never stop us. We will be together forever. Hinata, clinging to him, whispered. And you, too, will become part of our family. Narrator, chapter finale. The moon illuminated the ruins. The screams, blows, and groans of the dead mingled in the night. And somewhere in the depths of Konoha, something more terrible than even love after death was awakening. Chapter 4. The Cursed Mark. Heavy breathing, the echo of blows fading. The sound of water dripping somewhere underground. The battle on the surface died down. Sasuke and Sakura retreated deeper into the ruins, trying to catch their breath. Sakura held her hand, burned by Hinata's touch. The skin was darkening, as if poison was spreading through her veins. Sakura, weakly. It's not just a virus, it's something ancient. Sasuke was silent. His Sharingan glowed crimson in the darkness. And then he saw symbols scratched into the walls. The marks of the Otsutsuki clan. The same cursed script that was once used to control the Bijou. Narrator, oppressively. The truth was worse than any nightmare. Naruto and Hinata had not simply come to life. They had become vessels for an ancient curse, created during the era of the Pikudo Sennin. It was the seal of eternal love. A spell created by one of the Otsutsuki, to bind the souls of two people forever. But with immortality came the curse of insatiable thirst. They had to feed on the living, to maintain their bond. Sasuke touched the wall, and the symbols flared. A vision opened up to him. He saw how the sky had opened up over the village on the night of Konoha's fall. The shadow of the ancient Otsutsuki, left after Kagaya's death, descended into the village and placed a seal on Naruto and Hinata. Their love, so strong and pure, became the perfect vessel for the curse. Sakura, frightened. Sasuke, if this is a seal, then, is there a way to remove it? Sasuke clenched his fist. His voice was firm, but there was a shadow of doubt in it. Sasuke, there is. But it will require a sacrifice. In order to break the bonds created by the curse, their connection must be broken. We must make Naruto and Hinata stop loving each other. Sakura turned pale. She knew it was almost impossible. Narrator, slowly, heavily. Now they faced a terrible choice. To kill their friends, or to try to destroy the strongest love that had ever existed. And while they were searching for a solution, a whisper was heard from deep within the ruins. Their victims were already approaching. Chapter 5. Broken Hearts. The sound of rain turns into thunder. Lightning flashes over the ruins of Konoha. Naruto and Hinata emerged from the shadows. They held hands, as they once did in life. But now this bond held their dead bodies and damned souls together. Sasuke raised his sword, and Sakura clenched her fists. But they knew that one weapon would not be enough. They would have to strike at the very heart. Sasuke, hoarsely, straining his voice. Naruto, you always said that you wanted to protect your friends. And now, you're killing them yourself. Naruto froze. For a moment, something familiar flashed in his dead eyes. Warm, human. Sakura, screaming through tears. Hinata, you loved him more than anyone. But if you really love him, let him go. Don't turn him into a monster. Hinata trembled. Her cold hand squeezed Naruto's fingers tighter. But pain appeared on her face. Hinata, whispering, voice breaking. I can't. If I let him go, I'll be alone again. Naruto growled, trying to drown out their words. Chakra, black and distorted, surged around him, sweeping away rocks and ashes. But Sasuke stepped forward, his Sharingan burning. Sasuke, firmly. Hinata. Love isn't chains. If you hold him by force, then it's no longer love. Narrator. Growing. Lightning flashed above them. And in that moment, the curse wavered. The seal on their bodies trembled, as if it couldn't withstand the collision of truth and madness. Hinata screamed. Her eyes were a mixture of rage and despair. She wanted to let go, but she couldn't. Hinata, hysterical. I don't want to lose him again. Even if it's death. Naruto, as if hearing her scream, abruptly grabbed Sasuke and dug his claws into his shoulder. Blood splattered onto the ground. Sakura, desperate. Sasuke. No. She rushed towards him, but at that moment, Naruto and Hinata merged in an embrace, and the curse around them flared with a bright light. Narrator. Grimly. They were becoming one being, the fusion of soul and curse. And now, to destroy their love. Meant to destroy Konoha itself. Chapter ending. The entire village shook, and a voice, alien and ancient, sounded from within Naruto and Hinata. You cannot destroy something that is stronger than death itself. Chapter 6. The Shadow of Eternity. The sky opened up. The moon hid behind the clouds. The wind howled, as if warning of trouble. Sasuke and Sakura stood on the ruins of Konoha. Naruto and Hinata merged into one being, their bodies glowing black and red. And suddenly, from the top of the ruined tower, a shadow appeared. It was Otsutsuki. Ancient, cold, merciless. His eyes sparkled with emptiness, and his smile seemed to foretell the end. Otsutsuki. You tried to play with forces you do not understand. Love. A curse. All of this is just a tool. And now, this world will be mine. Narrator. Loudly. Ominously. Sasuke clutched his sword. Sakura clutched her kunai. But they knew, with this power, ordinary combat is powerless. Sasuke. If we want to save Konoha, we'll have to do the impossible. Sakura, in a trembling voice. To break their bond. To destroy their love. Hinata and Naruto sensed their friend's intent. They turned around, their eyes flashing with rage. But in the depths of their gaze, a bit of humanity flashed. Sasuke raised his sword. Sakura concentrated her chakra. Lightning flashed in the air. They struck at the same time. And the curse began to resist. Narrator. Increasingly. Love and curse collided. Light and darkness merged in a vortex of energy. And Otsutsuki froze. It's impossible. He whispered. They love each other too much. At that moment, Hinata squeezed Naruto's hand. And instead of being destroyed, the bond exploded in light, casting the shadow of Otsutsuki. Naruto and Hinata regained some of their humanity, but remained between life and death. Half dead, half alive. Sasuke, whispering. They were saved. But the price was high. Sakura, sadly. They must fight. Themselves. Forever. Narrator. Finale. Konoha was saved. But the curse did not end. And somewhere in the depths of the night, the whispers of ancient powers still wait. To complete their work. Whispering. If you want to know how this story ends, subscribe and stay with us. Or be a part of the next night of terror. Chapter 7. Eternal Darkness. The creaking of the wind, the distant groans of the destroyed Konoha. On the horizon, fog and the remains of fires. Naruto and Hinata stood in the middle of the ruins. Part of their soul was human again, but part still belonged to the curse. Naruto whispering with effort. Hinata. I feel, still, darkness inside. Hinata, in a trembling voice, with pain. We survived, but now, we are not who we were before. They tried to hold hands, but the energy of the curse whispered to them. That love could be both their salvation and their destruction. Sasuke and Sakura watched from a safe distance. They were forced to accept the terrible truth. Even if the curse did not hold completely, it left scars in the souls of their friends. Sakura, they have changed. And this is only the beginning. Sasuke, we must be prepared for this darkness to return. Otsutsuki will not leave it like this. A figure appeared in the distance, a shadow, barely visible in the light of the fires. It moved quietly, almost imperceptibly. Sasuke felt a chill on his skin. Sasuke, whispering, "It's him. He will return." Narrator. Even after victory, the night did not let go of the heroes. Their love, their strength, now a weapon and a curse at the same time. Every step through the ruins of Konoha was a step between life and eternal darkness. Chapter Finale. YouTube insert call in the spirit of horror. You have reached the end. But this is only part of the story. If you want to know what the next night of horror will turn out to be, subscribe to the channel and stay with me, or the darkness will find you first. Chapter 8. Eternal Battle. The sky is torn apart by lightning, the ruins of Konoha are burning, the wind is blowing away the ashes. The impact of chakra and the roar of energy are heard. Otsutsuki appeared in full height, his eyes shining with a cold emptiness. He knew, Naruto and Hinata are no longer mere puppets. They have become a threat to his plans. Otsutsuki, do you think that love can save you? Love is weakness. I will destroy everything. And you together. Naruto and Hinata stood next to each other, joining hands. Their eyes glowed gold and red, harmony and chaos. Naruto, firmly, in a human voice. We are no longer puppets. You will not take our world. Hinata, confidently, with strength. Even if we lose ourselves, we will protect those who are dear to us. Sasuke and Sakura stood at their sides, ready to support their friends. Sakura clutched a kunai, Sasuke a sword. But they understood that now the decisive battle must be fought by Naruto and Hinata. Narrator. Dynamic. Naruto released a vortex of chakra, black and gold, glowing with the power of eternal love and the remnants of humanity. Hinata combined her chakra with it, creating a shield and a weapon at the same time. Otsutsuki attacked, his energy tearing apart the earth and walls around him. But Naruto and Hinata moved in sync, as if one. Every blow, every swing is a balance point between life and death. Dialogue in battle. Otsutsuki, angrily. You are not a man. You are a monster. Naruto. Maybe. But this monster will protect those it loves. Hinata. Love is stronger than death and curses. At the climax, their energies merged into a gigantic vortex of light and darkness. Otsutsuki recoiled, losing control. The world shook, the ground cracked, the ruins of Konoha trembled. And suddenly, a bright explosion of light illuminated the entire battlefield. Otsutsuki was thrown into the shadows, and his seals crumbled. The curse began to dissolve. Narrator, softly, triumphantly. Naruto and Hinata stood, exhausted, but free. Their love, tested by death and curse, became a weapon and salvation at the same time. The world was protected, but the price left scars, both on body and soul. Sasuke and Sakura approached, quietly embracing their friends. The eternal battle was over, but the memory of it will remain forever. Finale. YouTube horror-style insert. You survived with them, or just watched their war. If you want to know how the next chapter ends, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Or else the darkness will find you in the next night of horror. This chapter closes the main story arc, leaving the possibility for spin-offs or new horror stories in the Konoha universe. Like and subscribe to the channel if you want to know what happens next. It will be even scarier.